I'd rather be dead than to weep and sob. So we solve any major problem with the quick we solve. Had to squab circle that bitch up. Listen, shop, 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 listen, shop,
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each.
Fire! 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 Yeah, you listening to Super Blade. Let's go.
This could take quite a bit of time.
Super Blaze in the mix, let's go.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments tried to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Estelusti. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
This could take quite a bit of time.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments tried to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Estelusti. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
You say you'd never find a white aborigine. That's all I heard.
We gon' die every day.
Super Blaze campaign makes me. Let's do this.
Swear we gon' die every day.
Shout to the chat.
Gon' save us, but I know we die if we wait. I know we die if we can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aborigine.
Shout to Love on Purpose. What up? What up?
We gon' die every day.
Big Cream Money. What up? What up? What up?
We been here, lived here, open borders, got deported, fought for rights. Kidnapped, bitch slapped, blacked out, covered up, washed white, drugged up, slugged up, beat bread, left for dead, fuck your life. It's all a plan, kill your man, take your land, slave your kids, rape your wife. Why y'all look so mad if all this shit I say is true? Why y'all look so mad if all this shit happened to you? White man quick to tell you was a slave, nothing before me. He himself only been free since 1840. On recording, I'm an ancient Egyptian from Atlantis, headed straight for Canada, that's Israel. Nothing fake about me, no capping rapping, y'all just fed the ink and I'm digital. No caveman, I'm original. Kentucky fried, extra crispy. Wear a lot of gold, cause my family history. I'm the guy to know, I bring death to history.
Swear we gon' die every day.
They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if we can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if we can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came.
Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the because they only telling they side of the story. Bang, bang, bang. Out here telling lies like they on Morrid and porridge. Kids get their money on phony. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah. We got the good. Build them assets, build them up fast. Get rid of cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We gonna smash it. Be prepared to hit the gas. Yeah.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch your game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We divide, blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Drive.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel.
Just my child.
Blood eye, yeah, we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the higher. Yeah. Sharing no haka from Virginia. Yeah.
I know I'm more because I'm blessed. I know I'm more. I passed the test.
We got to see with the true eyes. We need some brand new bright ideas. We got the hearts and some great minds, yeah. If we could all just be sincere. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We divide, blood eye, and we travel. Right. Blood eye, and we travel.
Just my child.
Feeling like a siren. I don't need no driving license. Just a beauty like a license. Let the ride or die and steal the show. You know they tried to drown me in admiralty, but I'm alive, they can't bury me. Now I'm wealthy and scholarly. Walk on the sea like I'm JC. Now I'm doing fire.
Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze, let's go.
Feeling like a siren. I don't need no driving license. Just a beauty like a license. Let the ride or die and steal the show. You know they tried to drown me in admiralty, but I'm alive, they can't bury me. Now I'm wealthy and scholarly. Walk on the sea like I'm JC. Now I'm doing bigger, better. I'm changing atmospheres, levitating. The meditation clears the mind, keep it so clear. Don't you let them use you, keep your weapon near. Celebration is the only way out here. We gotta be tired of dying and burying people out here. I know it's hard cause they shoot first. They pull up, yeah, they click clack, they do dirt. They go home, then they'll get back. But they can't bother me, nah. Cause I'm not property. This is essential. Essential. Yeah, this the mission, yeah. To be free and clear. Living off the land like a trillionaire. This the mission. I ain't gotta care. Living on my dream and killing all the nightmares, yeah.
Yeah. Threads 3000. You out of pocket, 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 pocket, you out of pocket, you out of pocket.
Hey, hang yourself, point that
you out of pocket, you out of pocket,
you out of pocket,
you out of pocket, you out of pocket, you out of pocket, you out of pocket, you out of pocket, pocket, you out of pocket, you out of pocket.
Hey, hang yourself. yourself. Point that
You out of
people,
pocket.
blame
You
yourself.
out of
Shame
pocket.
yourself. Kirk, go blame
Yeah.
yourself.
You
How
out
do
of
you
pocket.
clean yourself?
You out of pocket. Check yourself. I'ma just do the race myself.
Yeah.
Even when I sneeze, I bless myself. I'ma get through the rest by myself. Go to the Nike store and check yourself. Talking to the police, arrest yourself. Hate is a disease, test yourself. Suicide yourself, X yourself. Don't find me, find yourself. Niggas be getting beside themselves. Please get lost, nigga, hide yourself. Spend all summer long by yourself. Kill yourself, outline yourself. Being solid as me, remind yourself. Monkey ass nigga, climb yourself. Transform Optimus Prime yourself. Bird box gone unblind yourself. Got to spend all day time yourself. Wine yourself, dine yourself. Bitch ass nigga, flat on yourself. The way you move, retire yourself. Find you a flunky and hire yourself. Worry about me, admire yourself. You a pretty good goddamn lie yourself. Focus on you, desire yourself. Loose shit's lying, empire yourself. Stop hating every day and inspire yourself. Got 21 questions, fire yourself. Hate my style, get fire yourself. If it ain't working out, then fire yourself. Might as well rich or proud yourself. I'm laughing at you, you proud of yourself.
Ever since a youngin', I've been running, getting to the kick. Dog, you ain't 100, this 100. Let me demonstrate. If she ain't got brains, then I ain't tryna penetrate. And if you ain't a stand-up needy, you could get your dinner ate. I ain't buying all that bullshit. Dog, you benefit. Took her on a dinner date. Now we on the interstate. Might be a rookie in the game, but I've been a great. And we about autonomy, dog. We ain't tryna integrate.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
DJ Super Blaze.
Ever since a youngin', I've been running, getting to the kick. Dog, you ain't 100, this 100. Let me demonstrate. If she ain't got brains, then I ain't tryna penetrate. And if you ain't a stand-up needy, you could get your dinner ate. I ain't buying all that bullshit. Dog, you benefit. Took her on a dinner date. Now we on the interstate. Might be a rookie in the game, but I've been a great. And we about autonomy, dog. We ain't tryna integrate. Man, we ain't tryna integrate. Was broke back then, now the youngin' seeing different kick. We don't go off feelings, we just make sure that the business straight. And if you ain't an intellect, then you can't get a penetrate. Local need you, now I'm getting love all in different states. Gotta need you, if you ain't got scars, then you can't relate. Preach the niggas, I'm just tryna make sure that my people straight. Woke nigga in a sleep world, tryna keep awake. Man, I'm just trying to keep awake. Bodies dropping in my city, damn Perry, keep awake. How another black man, you're out, make it make sense. When the system got y'all niggas going through the same shit. Ever since a youngin', I've been running, getting to the kick. Dog, you ain't 100, this 100. Let me demonstrate. If she ain't got brains, then I ain't tryna penetrate. And if you ain't a stand-up needy, you could get your dinner ate. I ain't buying all that bullshit. Dog, you benefit. Took her on a dinner date. Now we on the interstate. Might be a rookie in the game, but I've been a great. And we about autonomy, dog. We ain't tryna integrate.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Bang, bang, bang. Sometimes you make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Check me out. To free my mind, I leave my house and hit the intercoastal. Sitting right in my backyard, this shit is really local. It's like my problems run away when I sit by the water. Meditating, sitting still, I become the water. Jump off the cliff of life, release my parachute of problems, everything's alright. At least that's what I tell myself until it hit the night. The spirit synchronized with my blood, I'm taking flight. My mind consumed. The devil said he moving in, but I ain't got no room. He wanna break me down and tell me up what I assume. But I just keep on grinding up to my top chakra. Feeling like a Buddhist on a mountain, sitting proper. Traveling God, moving through the cosmos, space and time. But all I really know, I'm at my zenith. Familiar with my inner peace because I seen it. Sometimes it.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
DJ Super Blaze.
Sometimes it make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Check me out. To free my mind, I leave my house and hit the intercoastal. Sitting right in my backyard, this shit is really local. It's like my problems run away when I sit by the water. Meditating, sitting still, I become the water. Jump off the cliff of life, release my parachute of problems, everything's alright. At least that's what I tell myself until it hit the night. The spirit synchronized with my blood, I'm taking flight. My mind consumed. The devil said he moving in, but I ain't got no room. He wanna break me down and tell me up what I assume, but I just keep on grinding up to my top chakra, feeling like a Buddhist on a mountain, sitting proper, traveling God, moving through the cosmos, space and time. But all I really know, I'm at my zenith, familiar with my inner peace because I seen it. Sometimes it make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. What? Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Bonquisha had a baby, but that baby didn't make it. Feeling like she's all alone and can't no one related. She permed her hair, put in some weave and made her nails long. Aspirations of stripping and making millions. Packed it up, left her mom, moved to South Beach, hoping she could make a living off monogamy. But things changed when she met a G. She fell in love with the dream he sold and everything she sees. The big cars, Cuban links, and the real estate. Hoping he would take her to a realer place. She lost in the facade. Things ain't what they seem. He left her for a girl that had some bigger dreams. She got no money, got no job, ain't nowhere to go. She ran back to her mama's house and broke down on the floor. Her mama told her, you stuck in the belly of the beast. You need to search for inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace, inner peace, inner peace.
Yeah. Rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land pads, they go in them town homes.
Yeah, you listen to
what's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation.
Fire! Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
DJ Super Blaze. Is in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah. Rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them town homes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah. God's children, give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God of Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't got it, listen so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Tribal families turn on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to something. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust a pastor who rather side with the master, who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God is never our vernacular. They get paid to pray for the God as long as they keeping us stagnant.
What do you say?
And niggas think they woke, huh? Like you can change a whole world through a vote, huh? Like slave masters willing to let their slave go, huh? That slave master was probably your kinfolk, huh? History in reverse. A black king strategy. When blacks were your majesty, they always hide your pyramids but point to where the castles be. Aristocracies with your last name patent accurately.
What do you say? Message to the black man.
And I ain't even tell half the shit. Like, I ain't even tell a quarter of the shit. I'm just getting started.
We just getting started. We
turn. Yeah, niggas rap about busting guns and all this weird shit. I'm trying to get my people back, nigga.
Drop another bomb for that, Blaze. Drop one more for me, Blaze. Goddamn.
Bang,
one
bang,
more time.
bang,
Bang, bang. Give me one more bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang.
Turn up. Yeah. Man, I get hyped for these campaign mixes. You want to tap in with us early in the game, you feel me? You got to tap in with us early on the Mixcloud. Go to the website, theautonomousparty.com. Hit that Mixcloud link and tap in early with us. You know what I mean? Go to the website, tap in early with us. You know what I mean? 8 o'clock, 8:05, no. That's the Lucy time. We're about 7 minutes behind. 7 for a minute for a reason. Because everything falls in line when you hit that 7, you feel me? Message to the black man. No, real talk though. We inside Museum in the Lounge. It's your boy Matt Gaither. Through the campaign. The harsh reality is live life autonomously. Shout out to the party. Yeah. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat for the live conversation and dialogue, and everybody that come afterwards and watches it, wherever you might be located. Peace and love and all that good stuff. Oh, wow. Maranatha to you. You heard me? Oh, man, I got so much we got to go into. Because like I said, this week, from the last couple of weeks, we've been trying to keep everything in lineup and how we go about doing these things. But first comes first, right? We just got through playing the Black Code, Trey Ali. And it's obviously tied to a group of people. We today, more expressly in 21st century, we know the Black codes in America hit what we call today the Negro. You know what I'm saying? But then we look at it's tied to the codes and the manumission of things goes back a little bit further. You know what I'm saying? And it's tied to other groups of people who also were being called Negro that weren't technically the indigenous people that went through it, technically in the sense of America's time frame. But you never know because of mixtures and things and migrations and things we're going to go into tonight. I can't perceive to say that that's just, universally everybody's one thing, right? Because the message to the black man is we multi-layered and diverse in all four corners of the earth. You see me? Yeah, but I'm going to play the Black Codes joint. Shout out my man Tecumseh, my man 9 Ether is pulling up on us tonight. But we're going to go ahead and show this quick clip. We got some shorts like commercials and shit, you feel me? So we're going to plug this in since the last song you played. I might ask you to play it again, matter of fact. I'm talking about right after I get this joint. Let me play this real quick, though, and tap in. Tap in with us.
Did you know that the foundation of the Black Codes, also known as the Black Laws, were originally inspired by King Louis XIV's code? Edict issued against blues and felonies, Edict of Fontaine Bleu. The edict made official the policy of persecution that was already in force since the Dragon Age. For those who don't know, the Black Codes of 1865 restricted Black people's right to own property, conduct business, buy and lease land, and move freely through public spaces. These codes allowed free people of color to access the legal system, marry, own property, and contract employment. In courts, however, marriage between different races was punishable for both whites and blacks by life imprisonment. Limits were also placed on former slaves' ability to own property outside of the cities, and therefore to move from the cities and engage in their own farming or land ownership became infinitely more difficult. For more interesting facts like this, please like, share, and subscribe.
So yeah, I want you to go to the YouTube channel. You know what I mean? This is a live joint right now, but you can go check this short right here. Got a couple more. You know what I mean? Shout out to Tecumseh, production-wise, putting these things out that we be talking about so you can kind of get a visual understanding in a short manner. You feel me? So again, check if you want to check it out, share it to your people. You know what I'm saying? Let us know what you think. You feel me? Shout out musicmeterlounge.com. You know what I mean? Live Fort Lauderdale, Sunrise, Lauderhill, 954-561-305, all that good stuff. You feel me? 786. You know what I'm saying? Lords of the Hill though. You know what I mean? Shout out to BSB, Gotta Green, Baron P. You know what I mean? My boy Blaze, Firebird, and all the other BSB, all my barons out there. Shout out to you. Obviously, shout out to all my indigenous folk, my American Negroes. Esther Luciana Macari, all my Maroons out there. The harsh reality is live life autonomously. Matter of fact, though, bro, because I just played that, I gotta do it one more time. Can you give me that Black Codes one more time? Just a little piece of it. Did you just go down? Can I get that real quick? No, for him, because he went down. You gotta pull him back up. I want people just to hear this joint real quick. Give me that Black Codes one more time. Just a piece of it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get y'all ready, you know.
Yeah. 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 Rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them town homes. What's a native to a native? Eat $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah. God's children, give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God and Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen.
Hold
So
on. Pause. Pause. Trey Ali, man. Trey Ali. I just had to go ahead and play that clip real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because it give me hype. It be saying that shit. That shit be so for real. Like you be saying though. Because you know the Black Codes. If anybody's ever read the Black Codes, 1685, King Louis the 14th was the 15th, 14th. I always mean, is it the 14th or the 15th? I think we was talking about this when we did the Mississippi Money Trail, the MISSISSIPPI Money Trail. Shout out to Monte. You know what I'm saying? Either way, I think it was 1685, King Louis the 14th. I could be wrong. Could be the 15th. Either way, in 1685, whoever that king is, when you do on your timeline, it'll show up. It's one of them two. He passed the Noir codes, Black codes, and obviously in the articles we've been talking about this. The first thing in the article says, it don't say Indians, it don't say Africans, it don't even say Europeans, it don't say Christians, it don't say Muslims. It says Jews. It's in Article 1 of the Black Codes. And, you know, everybody's having these discussions about, you know, is the Indian Jew, is the Indian the Negro the Indian? The 14th, I thought so. I was on point. And I think with amalgamation and mixtures of things, certain things can be true but not true in totality or absolutism of these conversations, right? But however the case might be in the phrase of things, we're just looking at it from the fact when he said, you know, the folks who most definitely did not want to be underneath the Roman Catholic situation that gave them the ideal of their ideal of what we call today Jesus or Yahshua, right? That they definitely, you want to pull it up real quick for the season, Vita? You know what I'm saying? In this manner of thought process, you know, it's all about how you interpret things, you feel me? And in your perception, your mind, and also your heart, as they would say, of what's going on with yourself in the position of the Black codes, right? Interpretation means a lot, but facts is facts over feelings. So as it says there, you know, Cold War initially took shape in Louis XIV's Edict of 1685 in all French colonies. You know what I'm saying? Does it have Article 1 in this joint right here on this one? Can it go to Article 1? Or is he just going to give it, I think, the intro? It's going to show the recorded part. Article 1. We desire and expect that the edict of 23rd of April, 1615, of the late king, our most honored Lord and Father, remains glorious in our memory, be executed in our islands. This accomplished, we enjoin all the officers to chase from our islands all the Jews who have established residence there, as with all declared enemies of Christianity. We command them to be gone within 3 months of the day of issuance of the present (order), at the risk of the confiscation of their persons and their goods. Now you see how that shit went back to 1615 up? Real quick, let you know, we 1685, but this joint is being taken out of the idea of what happened all the way back in 1615. And so black codes technically dealing with France is going back to 1615 easily, right? But still, for us in Americas, because of the French territories that were here, that we know they were here, like Louisiana, places in the Mississippi where, you know, amongst people like, you know, the Mississippian people like Choctaw, you know, the Inquisition still taking place and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, everybody, it's Article 2. All slaves that have been in our islands shall be baptized and instructed in the Roman Catholic and Apostolic faith. We enjoin the inhabitants who shall purchase newly arrived Negroes to inform the governor and the intendant of said islands of this fact within no more than 8 days, or risk of being fined or a tributary amount. They shall give the necessary orders to have them instructed and baptized within the suitable amount of time. So again, like you see how they had Article 1, and then they said the Negroes coming in, right? So you know that the Negro and the Jew together cannot be put together, right? Based off the laws of these situations, like that's not going to happen in the edicts in these territories under these jurisdictions here. But either though black codes later on goes into, you know, 1723 and 13 colonies, and, you know, Jim Crow laws and everything get, you know, expounded upon after these same foundational things tied to a code with the word black involved, also tied to an Inquisition. It's funny enough, that goes back all the way to 1492, the Alhambra Decree. So we know that Negro and that Jew is involved in this situation somehow or another from that time frame all the way up to this time frame of 1723. Black codes even further up, right? To message to the black man. Yeah, so, you know, tap in with us. We can move on, bro. I want to go ahead and what we got next, man? I don't know, I guess everything. We're gonna get into the information. It's time move fast. You hear me? What we got next on? What's popping? Once again, shout out to everybody in the chat that's tapped in with us for the Amorgarickakans. Who are the Amorgarickakans? And yeah. Who are the Amorgarickakans? You know what I'm saying? Who are the Amorgarickakans part 2? You see what I'm saying? And I think both my people's back up. Okay, so give me one more jump. We're gonna go ahead and give a shout out to my man Maroon J. You got part of my autonomy real quick? Let me get this little bit of that real quick. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And then we're gonna play this clip. That's what we're gonna do. Give me a little bit of that Maroon J joint. We're gonna play this clip.
This could take quite a bit of time.
Part of my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke with a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tribe to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Esther Lucy. Wild
Hold up.
Indians and Cherokees
Hold
ride
up.
Cherokees in my
Hold up.
woods.
Hold up. Hold up. Shout out my man Maroon J, man. You know what I'm saying? I heard, you know what I mean, he proposed to his loved one this weekend. And obviously, as I thought, I told my bro, it's going to happen. She said, yeah. So congratulations to you, my bro, live from the autonomous party to you, man. Congratulations. Nothing but love, obviously. And many, many until the time of immortal. I hope that union is prosperous. You hear me? Much love. You know what I'm saying about? Let's play this joint, though. And when we get right back, we're going to get straight to it. Check this out. We got another quick little clip. You know, we like commercials and shit. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with us.
The amalgamation of Europeans, Indians, and Africans who formed their own semi-autonomous communities outside the jurisdiction of the 13 colonies. These groups will often settle in secluded areas such as the Great Dismal Swamp, the Florida Everglades, Scott's Hole in Jamaica, and many more. These Maroons will often develop their own culture, government, militia, and trade. Throughout history, Europeans have attempted to track down and destroy Maroon communities, but this was often met with hostile force. For an example, the British weren't able to overthrow the Maroons of Jamaica, so in turn they established treaties with them. A similar thing happened in 1866 when the United States government was forced to sign the Treaty of Payne's Landing with this collection of free people of color, also known as Yacht Seminole or Seminole. There are many Maroon communities that still exist today, such as the Colombos of Brazil, the Ninduka of Suriname, and the Esteluste Amacario of the Americas. For more interesting facts like this, please like, share, and subscribe.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Tap in with us. That's the Lucy Amacario, you heard me. That's the Lucy Amacario, you heard me. Pull up, right? Yeah, tap in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But let's get to it though, man. I know we source up. Source Awards, as my man I need to say. Feel me? We got one more though in the clip, but you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of more stuff to go through tonight, so we're gonna go ahead and get to it. Pull up. One more in the clip.
Did you know that the Wabanaki Confederacy assisted the Jacobites during the Glorious Revolution? In 1715, the Wabanaki prepared themselves to assist in restoring Britain's exiled royal house of Stuart. Europeans had sailed the Northwest Atlantic on voyages of exploration for centuries before Columbus. Many believe that the Templars, led by Henry Sinclair, made it as far as Rhode Island and left evidence such as the Newport Tower in Rhode Island and the Overton Stone found in Nova Scotia. These voyages were inspired by earlier voyages of the lost naval fleets of Templar Jacques de Molay. Nevertheless, the Wabanaki chose to join the alliance between the Stuarts and the French and used their royalism to their advantage in disputes with colonial Puritans as long as the Stuarts remained in power. Their assistance was pivotal during the War of the League of Augsburg, the War of the Spanish Succession, and the War of the Austrian Succession. For more interesting facts like this, please like, share, and subscribe.
Please like, share, and subscribe. You heard me? We'll be live. Pull up though. Let's get our guests up in the building. You feel me? I think Nine gonna be in a minute. And get to it. Oh, everybody pulled up. All right, we good. Good money. Good money. So yeah, man. We live Amorgarickakans Part 2. You know what I'm saying? So it's 9:30. You know what I mean? Right around 9:30 on my side, Eastern time. You might be on the West side. You might be 3 hours behind sunset time. Feel me? But yeah, we're gonna go into some information. If you've been watching the last joint we did with the same guest, part of the party, it's research information we've been going through and digging in the crates. Obviously sparked it from things we would when we were preparing for the conversation we was having with our special guest of the Yamasi, you know what I'm saying? Chief Sekou. And obviously the term Amorgarickakans sparked up. So we had to expound on it because the Yamasi, shout out to them. And the Hittichi language obviously shows the foundational point of the people or me, we're more caught with the customs in that situation. But then you have the people that have this what they call Muskogee, and that Muskogee kind of it gives a remnants of understanding of something more ancient, in my opinion. Especially dealing with the fact that we know the first people to come over here, they would say would be the Spanish or the Portuguese, based off a record of the 15th century narrative, right? And that time ran with the charters, because the charters there, treaties are there, we can't knock it, they came at this time. Not to say we know others didn't come before them in trade in different situations, but as we know, in the present time of 1492, that those two groups, colonies, kingdoms, etc., came over here. And Portuguese technically were coming over here prior to that. We're going to show that in a minute. You feel me? But still, I want to make sure I laid it out that way. So, boom. Amorgarickakans is something we talked about because of the word being in the Carolina Genesis. And you got to excuse me. It's a blimp on my side. I actually left the book at the crib. Feel me? But it's a plug to the Carolina Genesis, and where it sparked me on my trail to walk down and get a more comprehension of what's taking place with this term and the people who would be tied to this term. You know what I mean? And how old is the term going back? How ancient is the term going back in the area we would call the Americas? And it's a big shout out to my man Tecumseh, you know what I'm saying, that did something with the Inquisition. And I want to ask him some joints real quick before I'm gonna let you go in. You know what I mean? And then because I want to get the ancient part down, you know what I mean, before I even give some examples of this term, just on the Amora side. See the Akakan side, I'm gonna wait until the end, tied to the Algonquin side of what they talk about this term is connected to. But I want to make sure first that the Amora side is very understood, like how we say Indian and Negroes, black codes, and all that stuff, right? Where did influence come from for them to even, or the theory come from for them to say certain people on this side have traditions of people from biblical or, you know, ancient terms of that side? So yeah, we're gonna go in and kind of, you know, this series is about that. It's gonna take us into the ancient world. So, you know, put your seatbelt on, don't get triggered. Tecumseh, what up?
What's good? What's good, fam?
Peace, man. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out to Nine real quick. Now, what's popping? You there? G9's in the building.
You can hear me?
Yeah, are you good? I'm gonna make sure you good for our technical part.
I'm good. I'm clear.
All right, bet money. You know what I'm saying? So Tecumseh, real quick before we go in, because everybody got a part to play in this conversation tonight, this dialogue, this bill we're gonna have about Amorgarickakans and the people and stuff. I want you to, because it's something anciently that you went across that I think a lot of people miss over dealing with the Americas, obviously outside of the theory of this place being a new world in 1492. And when you did the Inquisition, Terra Sancta, you know what I'm saying? You were talking about the middle of America, we would call North America, which would be Arizona. Shout out to Trail out there in Arizona, right? But in Arizona at this time, this place is what I always mess it up. Calelus, right? Did I say it right?
Yeah, Calelus.
Yeah, Calelus. And what time frame is Calelus in? It's just the.
So they document the first people of Calelus, 1st century BC, but you have the kings of Calelus that go up basically to 775 AD.
Mm-hmm. Well, with that, you know what I'm saying, being said, hold up, say that one more time so people hear that again. I don't want to miss that. Say it again. What time frame again?
From the 1st century BC to 775 AD.
So that's a like little stretch. See, that's why I want people to hear that twice. Those are like, you said BC, right? Did you say BC?
Yep, BC.
Okay, make sure I ain't tripping. I'll make sure everybody out there heard it. And we in the 700s now, AD. Now, this same situation you're talking about is in the Americas, though. There's a Roman Jewish colony that's in the Americas that you talk about. Do you want to, you got the clip ready? Kofi, you got the clip ready for me? Yeah, the Sanctor joint. Yeah, we're gonna go to that first, and I'm gonna come back with that other one. All right, you heard me? Just let me come around because this is how it's playing. It's going. Everything will work out the way I want it to. I see it. I see the play. So yeah, boom, this joint right here. Because I want you to kind of just give a little bit about this real quick. We can get this so you can answer the questions because this takes us back anciently. I don't want to mix nothing else right now into this tonight. So I want to just get this Roman Jewish colony part out the way that you spoke about in Arizona. Go ahead, tap in.
In the 1920s, archaeologists in Tucson, Arizona found objects and writings in Latin, Greek, and Hebrew with both Catholic and Jewish ritual objects and symbols. Cyclone Covey describes this discovery in his book, Kalalus, a Roman Jewish colony in America from the time of Charlemagne through Alfred the Great. In this area specifically, and other areas in the Americas, are found mixtures of Jewish, Nordic, Christian, Hindu, and Kabbalistic objects and symbols. The records of Kalalus speak of a Theodorus, a man who led a group of people to the land of Kalalus in 775 AD. Theodorus in reality is the king of Septimania, a Roman Jewish state in southern France, also known as Gaul or Amorca. He is the son of the first Israelite king of Septimania, also called Theodoric, Theory, or Amiri. Similar to the appellation of Simri that we referred to earlier, right? Theodorus is also known as Theodoric, king of Saxony, and as Namus, duke of Bavaria. He and his brother were great warriors during the time of Charlemagne. Professor Arthur Zuckerman, in his book, A Jewish Princedom in Feudal France, confuses him with his father, who bears the same Frankish name of Theodoric and Emiri. On the death of his father, Makir Theodoric, in about 765 AD, Nehemiah Theodoric becomes the Western Exarch and leader of all Jews of the revived Western Roman Empire of Charlemagne. In 775 AD, Theodoric reconquered the American empire Kalalus from the indigenous people, which was at the time ruled by Sylvanus Toltexes, or nicknamed by them Solomon the Builder. Kalalus was founded in the 1st century BC by the Babylonian exarch known as Sylvanus Ogan, or Sylvanus Brabo, the ruler of Sumer, which is Somerset in Britain, a soldier and ancestor of the Swan Knights. After the defeat of Sylvanus Toltexes, the members of the royal family were sent back to Europe, where they were under the protection of Nehemiah Theodorus and his family. The legends of Dune and Ogier are based on the activities of this family. The legends of Ogier the Dane, son of Godfrey, and Dune the Menace actually refer to the Tuath de Danann, Mananan, or the god of the sea, which could be made synonymous with Maine in America. The Irish legend of Regamon also allude to this family.
Yeah, that's what I wanted right there, though. Tecumseh, man, I want you to walk us from your understanding real quick. You can pull us up real quick so people can see him answer this question on the big screen. From your research on that part of what we've been talking about and how it's going to tie into the Amorgarickakans, is first, for one thing, I want people to hear it for the record, us say it. A Roman Jewish colony in America in that time, the language of a Roman Jewish colony would be based in Aramaic. The script, Aramaic. Would you agree?
So the language family, there's a professor named Brian D. Stubbs. He's probably like the only professor who's in this lane for real. He's done basically all the research, basically finding the different cognates of the language family Nawa, or the Nahuatl language, which would be the language family from Central America, extending up into Arizona, Mexico, maybe parts of Colorado, California, going into all that area. Now, when he's done his research, he's found over 700 cognates. And a cognate is basically a word that you find in one language, and you basically find a similar word spelled and phonetically pronounced the same with a similar definition in another language. So they found over 700 cognates in Aramaic in this language family, which definitely show you there's some kind of correlation.
Yeah, so I mean, now what you think about it, real quick? You know, as you hear, so I want you to tap in on this part. What you think about that, and what you just heard from that breakdown?
It definitely correlates. So I'm aligned with that. You can't get no better than those scholars and what we bringing forth. So I'm aligned.
All right, bet, you know, because this is where I'm going with this. Y'all know, you know what I mean, with the party, we're going to keep it 100. If these folk obviously are in the Americas in 800, 700, 600 AD, you know what I'm saying? You can switch me over real quick. I want to show something then that would show Tecumseh. What was that timeline you said earlier? Because before we go in on what, I know you got something to walk down. I want you to give it to him, but I want to show something real quick. What is the time frame you said earlier that these people, you said a time frame, BC to what? Can you say that again?
First century BC to 775 AD.
All right. So I want you to see the stretch. I wanted people to see the stretch of time. All right. Now, tonight, Amorgarickakans. Can you pull up the Amora for me, the word? Give me the word. Let me give a couple words for the folk, and then I'm gonna let them go in. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let them go ahead. I just want to show this that he just said, and what based off the Aramaic language of a certain group of people over there in that region. Huh? Yeah, give me Blackberry first, goddamn. Yeah, give me. I want to walk it down that way like that. I want to show people something. You know what I'm talking about? Sweet as the juice. You see what I'm saying? Now look, first, just so funny enough, because it's all gonna correlate at the end of this joint. That word Blackberry is correlated to Amora. It's gonna show some things correlated to the word Amora. This is Amorgarickakans. You feel me? Blackberry Amora. All right. So now give me the next joint. This is in Brazilian and Portuguese. That's the translation. Just another term for blackberry. Black of the berry, sweet of the juice. Shout out to Tupac, right? Amora. Now another word for Amora. Come down, slide up. Make it a little bit bigger for the folks if you can. Or if you can just slide up. See the word Amora at the bottom? Okay, Amora. Hebrew and Aramaic interpreter. Now, I swear I ain't got the book. That's why I'm slipping. But I'm telling you, on my mama, that if this word in the same book, Carolina Gentleman did part 1, and when I asked, back in the day, was a couple weeks ago, this word is got the same meaning, interpreter, reciter, all right, in that book. It also says, because Amora, Moreno, people who would follow the same language, following after people who would be considered Amora from that same time frame that Tecumseh just said, first century BC, going into 700 AD, the Aramaic language and their interpreters of any scripture or any situation in that language family, the Amora is the term tied to their priesthood. So in ancient times, the Jewish scholar attached to one of the several academics in Palestine and some other terms of Tiberius, Sepphoris, and Caesar, or in Babylonia, Neferta, Surah, and Puma Betita. That's my best way of saying that. It says the Amorim collaborated in writing the Gemara, like geometry, gematria, etc. Collected interpretation of the commentaries of the Mishnah, the authoritative code of Jewish oral law, on its critical marginal notes. Themselves, the creators of the Talmud. All this is tied to a group of people. Look, though, coming back as that. It says, though, writing various Aramaic dialects interceded with Hebrew, the two groups of Amora began work. about AD 200. See, now that falls in the time frame. I just want to direct see that. We can keep it moving though. Amora, you know what I'm saying? So just so you see where this word Amora kind of Jerusalem's in there and all that too. But I want to just show this word Amora tied to Amorgarickakans. So you see where that word, because remember they said it in the Carolina Genesis. You got to go back to part one. I forgot the book. My bad. But however, in the part one, it shows how the word Amora is tied to a Ladino, as they said, language, which is tied to the Aramaic, tied to the word interpreter, reciter, tied to this situation. And the Gargarkan and the word Akakan is tied to the Algonquin group of people in this situation. Amorgarickakans or Amorgarickakans, however you might pronounce it, right? Excuse me, however that works. So we want to go ahead and do and one more joint, and then I'm gonna let my man ride on you though. I'm gonna go ahead and let it slide. See, because this right here, yeah. No matter. Is that the entry joint? Is that the entry joint? Make sure. Good timing. I want to make sure. We're gonna pause on that. We're gonna pause on that. Skip that one. Give me the next. Cause see, I want this to stay in line. I know what the Tecumseh, and I gotta wait. We gotta wait for that. We don't want people just to know this moral part. We don't nobody think we capping over here. You know what I'm talking about? No, not live. We want to keep it in the construct. Now that I see how this is going. One more joint. Lingui. Again, lingui. Portuguese. English translation. Blackberry. Blueberry. I love blueberry, especially with some Remy. Amorous, love, right there underneath it, right there, love, the beloved people, amor, beloved, fondness, sweetheart. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, my dog Jay marrying his sweetheart, Amora, this weekend. You feel me? He asked, well, he ain't marrying, but you know, he asked her. You feel me? His Amora. You feel me? His love. You know what I'm talking about? So now, shout out to, you know what I'm saying, again, my dog Jay. But this right here is where I want to just see. You can see this term and all the ways it's being used, but also historically what it's also connected to. You hear me? So ain't gonna be no mixing the dope when we say what we saying, going into what we going into. So yeah, at that point, I'm gonna let Tecumseh take off. Fast break. You talking about? It's on you. So what you got on that, and it's on you. I'm gonna let you ride. I know you got something from part one to part two, so I'm gonna let you slide. It's on you.
All right, boom. So you started with the best part, the Amora and the time century that is connected to. So if you're gonna follow the whole story, you want to start in the 5th century, basically when Jerusalem is still a part of the Roman Empire. In 66 AD, Zealots basically seized Jerusalem from Rome. So this is when Rome dispatched Titus to deal with them, basically. So Titus took a legion of 3 fleets, basically, and he surrounded the entirety of Jerusalem. Um, he did this for a while. Then he sent in basically the person we identify today as Josephus, Flavius Josephus, to negotiate with the Jews, but it didn't work. They end up shooting and they go with an arrow. So long story short, is a war breaks out. Fire destroys the city. The Romans march in and they kill a majority of the Jews, but some of them escape, basically. So fast forward a little bit, 395 AD, Rome has an emperor named Theodosius. And under Theodosius, Rome splits under its 2 different sides, the Eastern Empire and the Western Empire. Now, the way they tell the history, I think by 476, the entirety of the western half of the Roman Empire got sacked by barbarians. And the East continued under Constantinople for pretty much 1,000 more years. So dealing with the West, you have the groups that are known as the Franks that emerge around 481 with Clovis. And this is basically the areas of Germany, Belgium, France. From there, Rome allowed a group known as the Salians to settle in the region. And from them, there was a group called the Merovingians that pop up. And this is going to all make sense. I just got to run through the history. The Merovingians are basically some of the first of their kind to fight against the Catholic Church, right? So basically what happens is the Romans end up fighting them in Gaul. Clovis defeats the Romans, which he's the first one to do. And then a few of them pass on, and then you get the Carolingians with Charlemagne. And under Charlemagne, they create the first, I guess, political body connecting state and church, because essentially what Charlemagne did was he was made emperor of the Holy Roman Empire by Leo the Third. So basically what happens is once this happens under the Catholic Church, the way they keep control of these regions is there's 24 families or 24 patriarchs that are essentially set up. Now, the way they tell this story is that there's this ancestral practice that's happening amongst these people, but really these people are practicing Torah heavy, in the sense of they're only dealing with people of their tribal situation. And I'll kind of touch on that a little later. It'll make sense. But they're called Rex Deus. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get this link pulled up here. Matter of fact, can I pull that? Y'all got the link I put in the Telegram earlier? I put a link about
Yeah,
this.
matter of fact, I can grab it though. Give me 1 second. I can grab it. You talking about the Deuce buddy though, right?
Yeah, Rex
You
Deus.
talking about Rex Dude? Yeah. Hold on real quick.
I want to kind of give a ideas, like I put it earlier today. But essentially what that is it's 24 families who they all say their lineage comes from David. And basically with that, give me a second because I actually need to read this for it to make more sense.
I'm finding it right now. I got you. I'm sending it to God right now. We can make it easy. Unless you want to share your screen. Is something you want to share your screen about anyways?
Yeah, I'm about to get to that now. I just needed to rifle through that history so I can start pulling some.
I sent it to him.
All right, so well,
you can pull it
before
up.
I guess I'm gonna pull up this Despacini. Let me see.
Or is it the same one that I just sent to him? Bloodlines of Despacini, Jewish Septimania, however you pronounce Septimania, Tasmania, Seven Mania. I think seven, but however. Septimania, Seven Manias. I already sent it to him with the joint. If you're talking about this one, I can pull it up.
It was from this morning. It's like the first thing.
Early this morning. Yeah, no. So I didn't send him as dealing with the dude that you said bloodlines of dysphonia. I had to even correct myself just to talk about it either way.
They're both connected. Yeah, they both connected. I just wanted to show the Rex Deus before I showed the Despacini, because the Despacini.
I don't know that one. I ain't got that one. Hold on.
I got a link on that one. That's cool. I'm about to actually share it.
All right, I'm gonna let you ride, because I want people to get this. Because you be dealing with the Inquisition, and you be looking like between you and I, and this part of this, what we know, we in the research, like y'all be digging the crates and it's historical people that's been dug up, and it's like, oh wow, yeah. Wait a second. wait, hold on. This person right here did what? And okay, this is past the biblical situation when we talk about some of these people of nobility that are considered kings that most people probably would not know about. You know what I'm saying? Unless you was digging in the crates, especially talking about genealogies. We waiting. Hold up. We're going. Yep, we got you. Hold up. There you go. Just Despacini. Yeah, I see it.
All right, boom. All right, so Despacini, the meaning of or belonging to the master or lord, is a term that, according to Sextus Julius Africanus, a writer of the early 3rd century, refers to alleged blood relatives of Jesus who are then alive. According to the gospel, according to the Hebrews, some of these held, even at the relatively late stage, positions of special honor in the early Christian church. So I'm gonna make this make sense when I start pulling up the bloodlines. According to the Gospel of Mark, Jesus' mother and brother were at first skeptical of Jesus' ministry, but later became part of the Christian movement. St. James, the Lord's
Yeah.
brother, presented over Jerusalem church at the after the apostles dispersed. Jesus' kinsmen likely exercised some leadership among neighboring Christian communities until the Jews were expelled from the area with the founding of Attilia Capitolonia or Capitine. I can't say the fucking word.
Hey, you know what? Man,
Capitolina.
listen, real
So
quick, just for this one part, I just ad libbing. You know, you just showed a picture of St. James here. And if I want everybody out there, just for the audience to know, don't type in St. James. Put some respect on the man's name. In Aramaic is Mar Yaakov Hazarik. But still in English. But Mar Yaakov Hazarik, the just. He comes out as a dark-skinned person. The dude Putin was showing them pictures of the people on the walls over there in Russia and how they were dark-skinned people. He would be one of them. Go ahead, though. Tecumseh. That's what I had to throw that in. My bad. You want a break? Quick little scope.
okay. Give me a second. I'm about to pull up another one of these links real quick. I just like how the answer somewhat is in here. I'll have to share another link. Let me know if y'all can see it.
Oh, you got to make that bigger. Oh, Lord. Oh, Ma. Here we go.
Is it any better?
Yeah, it's way better. That's good.
All right. So Desposini is a name given to the blood relatives of Jesus through his mother, Mary. They are believed by some to have a large part in the leadership of the church in its formative years through the 4th century. Keep the years in mind now, at which time references to the Desposini seem to have disappeared. Many attribute this to violent persecution against Jewish Christians, Desposini in particular. There are some who believe that Jesus Christ married Mary Magdalene and had children with her, whom are also called Desposini. It is believed that this dynasty exists yet today and has played a large role in world government and religious leadership. Rex Deus also attributes his lineage to the supposed marriage of Jesus and Mary, but also goes back to King David and even further to the high priest Aaron, Moses' brother. According to theorists, the Rex Deus have kept their bloodline pure through the last few thousand years and are supposedly custodians of the true secrets of Judaism and Christianity. So that's pretty much what I want to get out of that. So essentially, when we following what's happening right now, right, we see from the expulsion or the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 AD, these Jews are expelled out of this particular area and they have to go somewhere. So, like we were following the history a little earlier when I was talking about after 395 AD under Theodosius, when Rome splits under two, when they say that in 476 AD, the western half is sacked by barbarians or these Berbers. Who are Berbers? And even think about what language family the Berbers are speaking. They are speaking a language family that's pretty much connected to an Egyptian and Aramaic tongue. So when you look at the communities that arise in this time, for an example, you get like Cordoba, when they're saying this is the Dark Ages or whatever after the Romans left this area. you still follow this migration of people, because once again, they're saying they killed all of these so-called Jews in the sack of Jerusalem. But then again, when we look at all these centuries later, why is it that all these kings are claiming to have lineage to this same situation? And even when we think about what was just said about Rex Deus or king gods, that sounds very familiar to something that someone like King James preached, where he preached something called the divine right of kings, and having this direct connection or authority given by God. When you look at the lineages who are connected to this Rex Deus, or this lineage that's also connected to the Holy Grail, you start to see some of these same families are connected. I'm about to share another screen in a second.
I'm starting to think, all these connections to these ancient, these Grail talk and all that, it's cryptic, but yeah, this is where I saw that picture earlier, how they all of the depict them.
I don't know who that white man is.
Say what up?
I was just saying, I don't know who that white man is.
But you know how that works. So either way though, we're talking about just from a historical standpoint, the names don't change in these cases. They can change pictures. But bloodlines of this point, this post. How you say it again? This posting, because I'm new to this term right here myself. Desposin. No, it says Jewish Septimania though. You know what I mean? And the Merovingian dynasty. So where you gonna go with this right here? With this part right here, tied to obviously we were Amorgarickakans today, and these groups of people. Were these some of the people that came in the Roman Jewish colony situation?
So I'm about
tied?
to. So yeah, I'm gonna actually show that connection coming up now, because that's why I wanted to show that clip first, because the person that's listed, Theodoric Makir, he's also the one who's listed as being the first king of Septimania, and also listed as one of the kings of Kalalus. But I'm gonna show that. So can y'all see it where it says the Hebrew part?
I don't see really nothing but that dude face on the left, and I see it, but it's very small. I see something in the Hebrew Bible and in the Shon. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see.
You might, if you try to make that bigger right there. Ooh, not that big. You can make it smaller. There you go. There you go.
Can y'all see it now?
We in there.
All right, boom.
We in there.
All right. So in the Hebrew Bible, Nahashon was a tribal leader of the Judites during the wilderness wanderings of the Book of Numbers in the King James Version. The name is spelled Nahashon. According to the Jewish Midrash, he was the person who initiated the Hebrews' passage through the Red Sea by walking in head deep until the sea parted. Nahshon, also mentioned in the New Testament, is in the genealogy of Jesus. This is the origin of the name Nashol, that is stormy sea waves. The Natsines or Nasini, possibly Hebrew from Nahash or snake, were a Christian Gnostic sect known only through the writings of Hippolytus of Rome. The Naasines claim to have been taught their doctrine by Marame, a disciple of James the Just. So when we was talking earlier about the Desposini and who all the Desposini are connected to, the Desposini is dealing with the family, essentially dealing with the immediate relatives of Christ. This is why, and you're going to see that later, this is why a majority of the secret orders, a lot of them go back to James the Just. That's why he's so important to the litigaries of all these people. But the retention of the Hebrew form shows that their beliefs may be represented the earliest stages of Gnosticism. Hippolytus regarded them as among the first to be simply called Gnostics, alleging that they alone have sounded the depths of knowledge. So when you look at what they have immediately under is the crest of the line of stewards, or basically King James line. And I think it's interesting because it's also going to kind of explain this why when you look at the heraldry and the symbols in here, if King James is the king who unites Britain, Scotland, and Ireland, why is there a fleur de lis in his crest when the fleur de
Yeah,
lis
that's right there at the
is
bottom,
yeah.
tied to them pinions. Tied to them pinions. That's the wings coming around, protecting the crest with the banner at the top. Yeah, that's 9 Ether. What you think about that, real quick? You know what I mean? Did you hear before we let you slide on your part? I want to let you tap in on what he's saying right now about this part right here.
That's online because they put most of their legends, folklore, and things where they wanted to hide the history of that Davidic line coming out, the Spony line, the Grail Kings, the Swan Knights, all of these, even King Arthur's court, he got his reigns from a Despani. But then you see that they put in King Arthur's court a whole bunch of legends that you have to unravel. And most of the times they have Black Knights in those legends, so to speak. So it's falling in line with three factors. One, you have the Roman church out there. You have at the same time this ancient bloodline that is playing games on both sides of that Roman church, in it and out of it, in whatever way they could possibly do it. And then you got the great kings. All these kings are really set up through those bloodlines we were speaking about, and the Spony bloodline in the so-called, if you want to go in Merovingian bloodline through Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, it would be Theo Ramo Joseph. He would be the first Despani on that side, but they had Despanis, like he said, on Justice side. Every one of their kids was considered a certain name, and they were all part of this Grail Kings and hiding of the Holy Grail, which is just the ancient bloodline. So I'm aligned with it.
Okay. Now I want to say both of y'all real quick though, because I'm just gonna stick to the Aramaic Amora entitlement, Exilarch or not, right? These titles in Aramaic, James the Just, and other people I know that 9 Ethers obviously exposed the title Mar is there. That's tied to this understanding of interpretation of the law, or in a position of title of nobility, in a vassal position or with not. But however the case might be, it's still there. An Aramaic translation of a position of a James the Just who has Mar in front of his name, or like Yahshua HaMashiach, who in Christians would call Jesus Christ, would have the term Moran in front of his name from the Aramaic standpoint. What y'all think about that? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think that's spot on.
Okay. Now, what about you, real quick, before we slide on? I mean, it's Tecumseh. It's still on you. I just want to make sure that part is tied
He
into
can
before I
go in
want to.
because it's all aligned, so he can go in.
Okay, go ahead, though, Tecumseh. I want to just make sure that right there. Some people don't understand that part. So these titles. Go ahead, though. Amora.
All right. So now also I'm happy you just said that. Keep in mind too of the time period of all these, like even when you read who the Armorium are according to the history, their time period is essentially from what you would consider like 200 AD up until 500 AD. And all of this is taking place during that time period. But it's saying here, when investigating ancient lineages and some lineages from the early Middle Ages, genealogists sometimes come across a line that sometimes trace back to Abraham. All such lines are somewhat conjectural and are based on various genealogies that have been taken from biblical material or other ancient texts. While there are a number of experts who claim that these lineages are purely mythical and therefore unsatisfactory, I think we'll find at some point that the lines are more accurate than previously thought. What is surprising is the number of different threads that exist from Abraham into Western Europe and the different paths they take. Several different threads are intertwined in the Merovingian families of Francia Two pass from Egypt through Ireland into either Wales or Scotland. A third line comes directly from the Exilarchs, the leader of the Jewish community in exile after the diaspora in Babylon. This thread goes directly into what is now southern France, where descendants marry into noble families of the region. In addition, I've shown lines with two variants from Abraham's Islamic descendants that passed through Spain into the nobility there and thence into the nobility of Europe. All right. So the reason I wanted to read that, let me jump over to this other one that actually, as a matter of fact, we'll do this.
Marker. Marku. Marker.
All right. So now I remember from the clip earlier where it was talking about that first name, that Theodoric Makir, that first king of Septimania, Exarch. So when you connect what really happened in that timeline, there's a mixing of these two different groups of, if you want to call them Yahudi, Hebrews, Jews. I ain't fighting over the word, but there's a mixing of these two different groups of people who are in that area at that particular time. There's the descendants who came into Europe basically in the era of 500 BC after the Assyrian expulsion under the name of Chimerian or Sumerian, and they became known as the Scythians, who went into the Iberian Peninsula. And then you have the group that left in 70 AD, who go into the area of France, Belgium, Germany, and all of these areas and create what we consider the Merovingians. And this is where the Armorium are at. So now when you start to look at the lore of what these nations are saying, for an example, how I brought up last time about Henry Sinclair. Henry Sinclair is also of the Knights of Templar, who has a lineage that's directly connected back to this particular lineage, who has knowledge of going to this side of the world. And he documents it in the saga. And once again, how I brought up last time, he's documented by the Micmac, and they gave him an indigenous name, Gluskot. So when you look at the whole situation of who the Armora are, they're essentially these Jews who are leaving these areas and they're setting up different colonies in the Americas. And they're aligned with the indigenous people here. And you can see certain similarities in the customs of certain tribes, specifically tribes that are along the Mississippi and on the eastern seaboard and in the Gulf. If you specifically look at where a lot of these areas are, where you see the correlations. But yeah, I can kind of leave it there. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say something about McCurr first off, Marku. And what the other joint right underneath it. I'm sitting here the whole time listening to you go into all this, and for the people out there, it's something you might want to go research if you be interested in this, right? Outside of what we're bringing to the table. Toulouse, is that how you pronounce that? Theodoric of Toulouse. Will you pronounce it that way? You know what I mean? I've been drinking margaritas and smoking reefer.
Yeah, that's how I would say it. Toulouse.
Toulouse, right? It's like Tulsa, or Toulouse, or Tulsa. What's that other term we seen that they were talking about up there in Arizona? That's tied to Calelus, right? Isn't the term also tied to them in a different variant?
I'm actually not sure. I'm actually not
I mean,
sure.
I might be reaching, but I seen it and I had to say it because I'm like, I see the words there. I see the same Tulus, Toulouse, and that's why I had to pronounce it when I see Tulus. You need sometimes when you start realizing, especially with all these, like how we talk about Amorgarickakans and the different ways of them. Because see, at this point, I was talking about the Ladino, which some people call Latin, and how them folk came over here in the 1492 Spain Portugal scenario. But when we got the Roman Jewish colony that you just walked down, and everything you've been breaking down. And give a shout out to Kudumeo too. You know what I'm saying? He's covered, you know what I'm saying, this Kalelus. But at the same time, in the genealogies and things, and you're breaking down certain points of people, dealing with the people that we know tied to a language, tied to certain, like you said, terms that we call biblically. You know, you're showing some things that just might give people an inkling what's might not have been told to them, like hidden history. You know what I mean? Is there anything you want to say before I let Manita loose, or you want to stop for a minute? And so I'm letting you on a break.
Yeah, Ether can cook. Go ahead.
Okay. What's that part you just highlighted though, real quick, before we let him go?
I just wanted to show that connection between Septimania and showing that Makir is straight up saying that he had Merovingian heritage. When you look at who the Merovingians are, they straight up tell you they are Jews. The Merovingians literally would be Armorium, who went into a particular area and started their own situations. So when you look at what they're saying, the Amorgarickakans are the descendants of these particular people who came to this side. They're drops from the Holy Grail.
Ooh, they said Holy Grail. Holy Grail. What's the song? Is that Rick Ross? Got it, right? Holy Grail. No, that's Jay-Z, man. You got me messed up. You got me messed up, dog. Timberlake. Yeah. Timberlake. Gopherwood. Oh, shit. Now, but either way, Makura was actually a Moravians, and it says what it says, though. So you see it. You showed it. Appreciate you for the drop, Tecumseh. Because y'all want you to give me exclusive on that. There's like, we know that the word Amorgarickakans is being used, and we showed you in part one of this, who are the Amorgarickakans. And there's certain tribes that have remnants, heritage, tied to people in different ways. But how ancient are they over here? Being that we know that these people who are speaking the same language with this same lineage coming over here, and they all the way in Arizona in 700 AD, 500 AD, 600 AD, Roman Jewish colony. So when people even talk about Rome coming here in the 1500s, based off the 1492 thing, yeah, we can say that there was definitely because you know they fell, by the way, in 700. The Holy Roman Empire, not what we know called the Inquisition or the Reconquest over there. That came an Inquisition over here in the time frames of the 1500s after the requirement to 1510. So I want to make sure you don't mix the dope. You don't get that confused in the waves of things that's happening in history on a chronological timeline or something, right? But either way, though, I want to just point that out. Ether, I know you've been digging on something too from the last joint to this one.
Yeah, but I actually want to go a different way. Let me show you. Give me a share screen. Just because you got that, I want to give more context to that info. Give me that share screen.
It's on you. Give me a share screen, God.
Tell me when you see it.
It's coming. Maranatha. Yeah, there you go.
You can see it?
Yeah.
What it says, Makai Theodoric.
Makai Theodoric Amiri.
Now you see what you said with you see my if you go down here to the one I just highlighted, Bertha, Merovingian, just like you said, the Merovingian bloodline. So I just want to show a different line. Makir Theodoric, you see they call him the third over here in the end, 11th exarch of the third dynasty. People don't understand they got Babylonian exarchs, Palestinian exarchs, they have exarchs. They have that Toulouse that you was talking about, Theodoric Toulouse, aka Makir, on the top. But basically showing that his line has what we say going up the Davidic line of the High Davids. Netroni, we had touched on him, who's a cousin to Haya at a certain time. So we have to look, not a cousin, I think he's a great uncle or something. He's on the Haya ben David bloodline. So when you look at these, the Magi of the dynasty is Nehemiah up here. I just put him in blue. So this is the paternal side of him, and on the bottom is the maternal side, Rolinda of Aquitaine, which he got the Merovingian bloodline through. You have the Catildi. You see down here, Catildi and Catilda is also an ancient name that they used for that Catilda ship, but it comes from these France Rupians that were part of the Merovingian bloodline of that Grail King bloodline of those that had secret knowledge of the waterways. Now, if I go to another one, do I gotta go out and come back in, or you can see that I changed it?
I ain't gonna lie, on a boy's God.
Yeah, you gotta go out, then come in.
You gotta go out,
you gotta
and come back in.
All right.
So you gotta go out and come back in. I'm glad you
gotta stop screen and then go.
I ain't on the boards. I'm saying here.
Hold up, let me see. Stop screen and then share. I'm trying to grab someone else y'all just spoke on. I had him up here. Let's see if I can get it right here. What you see on the screen?
Yeah, I see it now. Tubuti Yamuta of Amaru.
Hold up.
Huh.
I'm trying to see what you see because I just touched anyone. Okay, Tahuti. Oh, of Amaru. Just going into that whole Amorite, Amorite Akkadian thing, where you see Namar Sin, the great king of Akkad. So this Amaru has two lines, but remember you that 2T flow, Mac?
Yeah.
But you see his father is Amram, the Amaru.
Yeah.
Amaru.
Yeah. Is there?
It's there. I want to show one.
Is there? It looked like a more guard, like it's. I mean, you went back ancient with this one. He in the biblical text with the Amorite Amor. I mean, I don't know. You took me back right there. See, hey guys, see, I'm going. See how 9 did me. You see how 9 did me on the fast break. He hit the 3. I was going to put it out there, but see, he came with it, so I ain't mad.
Next one.
Yeah, no, you got to share the screen again. Hold on, we got you coming. Maranatha.
Who we got up there now?
Who you got there? Oh, now you got Desmoni and Joshua Barr, like the son.
Yeah. I wanted to give. That's why. No, I said I wanted to give context. I would rather just give context of the genealogy so they can actually see everything that Tecumseh just spoke about and how they have a Grail King bloodline where we can just go up and say, Aminadab Bar Joseph Despani, he was the 5th Grail King, Grand Master of the Order of the Grail. Now, if you go and look up and go one time up, this would be his father. So I'm going to hit the pops. Joseph Bishop, the Grail King. So they call him Joseph II, Grand Master of the Order of the Grail. He's the 3rd Grand Master of the Order of the Grail. Now, when you go into the story that he just touched on with Mary Magdalene and the Christ figure, you have Joseph Ramatheo, who is, now check this out. This is very good because this person that they have they have his regular name, Joseph Ramatheo. And then up here, it would say a possibility, Allen. Now, if you look at Allen too, Gross, the great Grail King over here, they have the same wife, Alice of Britain. So this is showing that when they dispersed out through the Exilarchs, and now they're marrying into the nobility of Britain, France, Scotland, and Ireland. Those 4 main things as they do this. But if you look at the top is Joseph or Josephus Ha David, Bishop of Sarax. Now, this would be like the Merovingian dynasty after the so-called, because they say his father so-called got crucified or whatever the case may be. But what I want to do is you look at the bottom of this, you have the Mary Magdalene or whatever the case may be. If you go down to the Grail Kings, the Fisher King, Fatmont, you will keep seeing the Disponi title under their names. So you got Fatmont, the Grail King, the Fisher King. They're also attached to who? The Swan Knights. So now if you look at the bottom, it tells you the grandchildren. This is the king of Westphalia. People want to understand where we get these names from, Philadelphia and all this. It's all coded in their texts because their texts are really not religious texts. They're historical documents shrouded in mystery and covered with allegories and parables. So that only the wise can see, and those who don't want to fight or take the walk or do the work like the Masonic world says, then you wouldn't know. But Clovis gave birth to the Merovingian kings of Franks. And I'm going to hit one right here. Merovich, first king, Salic French. So you can see their bloodline. If you really look at the bloodlines, you'll be able to say, okay, what kings they were attached to. You have the kings that they attached to what they call Thuringia down here. So you have the Thuringian kings, the Gothic kings, and up here you have these West Philly and these Frank kings, the Eastern Franks and the Western Franks. I got one more, and I'm going to give it back to Tecumseh and you so you can rock out. And I didn't show you.
I don't know, boy. That line right there, boy. I don't know what.
Oh, no, this one is important. Yeah, this is the one. Hold up. I'm coming back. Let me get out of this.
Amorgarickakans part 2, goddamn shit.
Oh, yeah. I told you that earlier. We can go and play with it so long because
you had something else I wanted you to. You still got that other little piece though, dealing with the New York joint. So you brought it, the Mason shit over there and all that. Can you put that real quick on the table? Like, give me like 5 minutes of that real quick, tied to what this Amorgarickakans situation is.
You're talking about what you see right now.
Since you took it back, I ain't got nothing else. God, you know, that's nothing there. You share your screen again? You share the screen again? Okay, there we go.
I just wanted to grab the Calalus part 2. Now, Mamericus Aemilius, he's the son of the second Roman king in 775 BC. So when you have this Calalus town jumping around, if you look at the artifacts,
you said BC. You said
BC. This is BC. This is 500, 600. This is the same time that Boy Joshua was doing his thing. This is the same era. This is can give you a whole.
So what you saying about this?
Yeah, see, I about to say, let me trip you out because 500 BC is the same time period that they attribute to the formation of like the Celtic races. So they basically believe like the Scythians went into that area between like 700 and 500 BC and created that particular group of people.
And that's crazy. But I just wanted to put it out there because his name, Mamericus, when we dealing with the Rome, they gave the name Amorica to what they call a place by the sea. But they're not telling you they got a person that if you take that M off, his name is Americus. And he's the son of the second Roman king. And you can see in that line, they have multiple people that they're naming Americus or Mamericus Aemilius. And Pythagoras, his son, he had a son he named Mamericus with the M in it.
You know, like you said, when you said 500, like, all right, so on our timeline of what we've been talking about, we got the word Amorica. We know Amorica, right? I see Amora, but Amorica, Gaelic term tied to, they say the region, of what we all think of as Europe today, as you're bringing up, right? Most people don't know that. 500 AD. So we just read, if you go back and watch certain joints, we brought this up, but still, Amorica, a place by the sea, Julius Caesar is tied to this time frame. If you want to look it up, Roman, going into this region, trying to conquer and take over lands, and uses the term Amorica, and obviously the people of that area. Later, he said the Celts and that time frame too. Like, so, like how, you see why I'm asking this question? Like, where is this person located that you're bringing up right now?
He's the Roman king. He's from the Roman. He's from the Roman king line. Let me just show you one part. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna hit him now. This is the king's son right here. Mamericus Aemilius. This is 720 BC. I just put you with his third great grandson, which was the 500s. So I'm just giving you a look. But his father, this individual, Mamericus Aemilius, his name is Numa, right here. Pompilius. He's considered the second king of Rome, who reigned for 44 years and sent out fleets. Now, they never say he sent fleets to America, but he sent out the most fleets they ever seen in the seas at 750. And this is right before Joshua, because Joshua comes in the 600s. But he sends out, in his 44-year reign, they said every 4 years he would send out the great fleets. But he names his number one son Mamericus.
Ain't that some shit? See, you were ancient. See, we talking about some. So, I still want you to give me that a more Amorgarickakans joint that I know you got in your tuck. You holding something back for part 3. I know what you're doing right now, but it's all good though. It correlates to everything that Tecumseh had presented. Will you agree, Tecumseh, for this, at least for this part 2 of our segment of what he just walked down, what you were talking about, and everything? So people might be like, "What the hell are these people talking about?" What do you think about what he just showing, connecting to what you just talked about prior?
Nah, that was a dope way to segue off it, because I didn't even think, like, I remember us talking about Americas, you feel me? But like to connect it and to bring out the other genealogies, like that is a dope way to show it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just speculative. Like, these genealogies are depicting these people making these migrations, and even the stories of these same groups of peoples within these genealogies. They're straight up telling you they found their ways over to the Americas. Like, whether you want to deal with, like I said, St. Brendan in 500 AD, whether you want to deal with Henry Sinclair in the 1300s, whether you want to deal with the Zeno brothers, whether you want to deal with whoever, all these groups are saying the same exact thing. So yeah, I think everything that you just said aligned perfect.
Well, goddamn, I think we got something going there. You want to go ahead and Nana, is there something else you got? What you got going on with it though? What you rocking with? I want to ask you. I want to show y'all something.
I could bring you back to the Amorgarickakans. Hold on. Let me
give me that, and then I'm gonna slide in because we right on time about my timing tonight. So yeah,
I got
go
you
ahead
right
and
now.
give me that, and then I'm gonna go. I want to show everybody something. I want us to, as we go over this little list I got, then I'm gonna show a clip or something from Brown University. You know what I'm saying about before we get out of here tonight. And I'm gonna read a little something too about the theory of certain things tied to things will be tied linguistically Amorgarickakans in the Americas. But yeah, I want you to go ahead and, because I know it was something. Part 1, y'all got to go back and watch part 1 to be live, right? Because we do this live. And we did part 1 live. We doing this live. We keeping it real. Obviously, you know, we do shorts. And we got shout out to Tecumseh and different videos. Shout out to Opie Mia, the genealogy joints. Go watch it on the channel. Playlists are set up. You know what I mean? More players too are being set up based off these same series we do live. But either way, though, 9 whenever you're ready.
I'm trying to share right now. Hold on.
No pressure. Ain't no pressure. Amorgarickakans, part 2. Amora. I guess I'm gonna go heavy in on Akan. You hear me? Niggas like to say that all the time. Akan. You hear me?
Let me know if you can see anything.
Yeah. Amaru. Akan. You heard? Yeah, I see it, dude. Oh, I see it. It's right there. You make that bigger? Oh, for the Amorgarickakans family. It's right there. There you go. We good right there. I know everybody can see that. Yeah,
The Amorgarickakans family. Yeah. These people right now, this is in the area of New York, Albany, Schenectady, and this whole area of upstate New York, about 2 hours from the city. And Kill Cop was the Amorgarickakans family leader. He operated out of the Isapkis, or how you say that? Tecumseh know how to say that tribe. Isapkis?
Esopus?
Wait, which one?
Remember, it's E-S.
I know
How
that's
you
not
say
right.
it?
Pause.
I don't even see it.
Esopus.
Oh,
Nah, it's not on the screen.
Esopus.
Say it again.
I don't like saying it.
Esopus. Okay.
Esopus. Okay.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'll be butchering them. But Kill Cop was from the Esopus, who the Esopus had a link between the Wabanaki, and some even had a link in what they call the Lenape too. So they had the Esopus. They had different joints. But in this situation right here, they're ceding some land in upstate New York. It's noted that the Amorgarickakans Kill Cop, his family, fought with the Abenaki and the Wabanaki. So most of his wars will be seen on, if you're looking at the 1660s to 1680, because his peoples, Kill Cop's people of the Amorgarickakans, they fought in the Beaver War and in King Philip's War. Beaver War was first, and King Philip War was right after it, in about 1670s or whatever. This is the individual that now they dealing directly with the Dutch. That's what people got to understand. In the North, the Amorgarickakans are dealing with the Dutch. They're against the French and English. So the French and English, the English would be doing what? In the Beaver Wars, they were on the side of the Iroquois, the English. And now the French had to deal with different the French was really in the middle in the beginning, but these people were dealing directly with Dutch when they ceded certain lands. So that shows you in New York, you have, remember New Amsterdam, you have still a Dutch strong presence, you have the French presence and the English presence, but Kill Cop and his bandits, or whatever you want to call them, they show you the Mahal family, which is very like the Isipis, however you say that tribe. They had multiple families that they're showing you right here. The Kiti Powie family, the Mahal family, the Kawatibas family, and then they had different sachems. But they're operating at the time of the Amorgarickakans history in New York has been lost due to assimilation of most of the New York tribes during the Iroquois Wars. Most Amorgarickakans that survived moved up north to Maine and compromised of the Amaskogan. This one is Amorskog, Amoriskogan, Amaskogan, and Amaskumin people who were under constant attack and would join the Wabanaki and the Abenaki. Like I said, they fought in the Beaver Wars.
You see them turn? Yeah, you see them
But just
turn?
to show on one side, you have the Iroquois on my left. They always fought with what? The Mohawks, Oneida, Seneca, Onondaga, Cayuga. And now you see they supported by England and Dutch. Now you look at the Huron, the Erie, the Algonquin, the Abenaki, the Mohegan, the OBGY, the Putna, and the Neutral. They all dealing with who? France. So you can see, okay, these kingdoms, Dutch and England, is backing Iroquois in these fights. And France is backing the Huron, the Erie, and the Abenaki, which the King Caleb, he fought under the Abenaki through the Amorgarickakans and the Esopus tribe. So he was dealing with, they're dealing with the Englishmen coming in now, already having their treaties with their agreements with Dutch. That's another thing. When you look at King Kilpatrick, not King, I call him King, Chief, he signed one of the treaties that they say is still in effect, but it was with the Dutch, so it wouldn't be the longest American treaty, but it would be a more older treaty than any American treaty. You did with just a nation to nation, because they sent their treaties with the Dutch. So we also, when we look at these treaties, try to see who they were dealing with.
Right. Since you said that, though,
on the Beaver War side too, you can see right there, you got the Wabanaki, you got different confederacies against the England on the right hand side, and that's in Metacomic War. So now the Amorgarickakans that's still around, they'll be on the Metaconic side and not on the Mohawk side, which was the precursor to the Iroquois Confederacy.
I want to play something since you said that, because he said something earlier. He walked certain things down to Tecumseh, and obviously he dropped his joint tonight. He played it. I had a feeling this was going to tie in like this, so I want to play the clip one more time. It's only going to take a minute. It's called a short. We're going to play it one more time. Wabanaki Confederacy and how they were aligning with the stewards. And being that Tecumseh had talked about the stewards and how the Desposi and all them, I messed up my butcher their name, but we're going to play this clip one more time for y'all to listen to.
And you know why that falls in line? Because they was dealing with the Dutch Reformed Church and the Protestant place. So that's why it falls right in line, because even though they're back in the French at this time, they got their little homies within those kingdoms that they got to be aligned with.
Right, we're going to play the clip. We're going to come right back and we're going to walk a quick little line. And then I'm gonna play a little thing. All this going to tie in. Well, trust me, I got it lined up now. We're going fast break. God.
Did you know that the Wabanaki Confederacy assisted the Jacobites during the Glorious Revolution? In 1715, the Wabanaki prepared themselves to assist in restoring Britain's exiled royal house of Stuart. Europeans have sailed the Northwest Atlantic on voyages of exploration for centuries before Columbus. Many believe that the Templars, led by Henry Sinclair, made it as far as Rhode Island and left evidence such as the Newport Tower in Rhode Island and the Overton Stone found in Nova Scotia. These voyages were inspired by earlier voyages of the lost naval fleets of Templar Jacques de Molay. Nevertheless, the Wabanaki chose to join the alliance between the Stuarts and the French and used their royalism to their advantage in disputes with colonial Puritans as long as the Stuarts remained in power. Their assistance was pivotal during the War of the League of Augsburg, the War of the Spanish Succession, and the War of the Austrian Succession. For more interesting facts like this, please like, share, and subscribe.
Did you know? Like, share, and subscribe. God damn. Yeah, so that right there lined up. Did that not line up, Tecumseh? And I need to, shout out to Tecumseh with the production of it, but it fit right in part in what we were talking about. I mean, if people don't see the correlation, goddamn, you Stevie Wonder and shit. You heard me? This shit got me tickled. Hey, Tecumseh, what you got to say about it? You put that kind of together without you knowing it was gonna land how it landed tonight. So what you think before I put my part in?
I feel like everything's self-explanatory from the last build to this build. Like, it's just directly showing that connection, and there's a lot to look into. But when you look at these orders, when you look at the local lore of some of these people, when you look at the genealogies, you can just directly see that connection. And a lot of people would want to dismiss it for whatever political reasons they may have. But at the same time, when we're dealing with the history, that's really what it shows. Like, these groups of Hebrews were mixing with these tribes way before the whole Columbus situation. So even like I said before, the Rex Deus or the King guys, it makes a lot of sense now why when the Spaniards came here and they identified the tribes, they said El Nombre de Dios, Dios. Amacaris go back to what? Amora. So they identifying these people by name. They knew exactly who they was coming to see.
Who they were looking for to see. Columbus and them, and even the folk, the Soto, De Leon, when they came into the Carolinas, when we were talking about the Yamasee War, when it started back to, when we went back to, the interview we had with Sekou of the Yamasee. We were talking about the Carolinas. We showed the map. That's why you got to go back and kind of watch a couple series, right? In the last, 60 days that we've had on a Sunday. Just start from Chief Sekou and that conversation with the Yamasee, that whole history, 1750. But before that, though, because the map showing Amorgarickakans, Amorgarickakans, in relation to the term, this is not a coincidence. And we already showed you tonight, though, because, past and present, part 2. We showing you, shout out to Tecumseh again, on the Inquisition, Terra Sancta, that is, these people are already in the Americas in the 700 AD time frame with a colony, a Roman Jewish colony, meaning they're Roman underneath the Roman control as a vassal, but they're considered Jewish because of their heritage and language and culture, right? Would you not say that?
Foderati.
Foderati. Foderati is what they would say back then. We call it federal today in English, but the Roman people back then called Foderati. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Feds pulled up on us. I hate to say it like that. I ain't gonna be biased about it. It is what it is. It means you're in alliance with Rome. If you're in alliance with Rome, that means you're considered a vassal, but you're still able to keep your autonomous cultural things, but you're paying your tribute. Right? That's how the Rome really moved back in the day. Like how our system moves today. That's why you gotta watch out for the folk that be working with the feds, right? Because they're in alliance. But they're out here looking like you, talking the language and everything on the land. You heard me, guy, right there. So pay attention. Keep your head on the swivel. We played that shit earlier on Miss Cloud. I had to go ahead and just put that in there. But yeah, I'm gonna walk down the timeline real quick. Dealing with the Portuguese, being that the term Amora we showed you earlier is blackberry. You know, sweeter the black of the berry, the sweeter the juice. Portuguese, you know, and obviously the Amora term is used in many different ways in Brazil. That's a Brazilian translation, actually, Portuguese Brazilian shit. But now, real quick, this timeline, and then we're gonna show you a clip. And again, shout out to Brown University, you know. Somewhere else, 3 joints left for y'all. We gonna get out of here. So, Latin American chronology. And this is what I kind of want to have them join for the Amorgarickakans conversation. Term Amora tied to groups of people that would be tied to certain language. So everybody should be on point with us tonight. Can you make that a little bit bigger? No, that's it. All right, so. No pressure. They're going to have to deal with me tonight. My cataracts and all. 711 AD. Moorish incursion into Spain begins. All right. 914. Decline of classic Maya culture. 1000. Norsemen reach North America. That's 1000 AD. 1200s. Moors expelled from Portugal. Moors in Spain restricted to the Emirate of Granada. 1280s, Catalan voyages to northwest Africa, and possibly Genoese visit to the Canaries. 1390 to 50. Teotihuacan, or Chichican, however you might, Tenochtitlan. I know, my bad. I said it wrong. I'm sorry, y'all. Either way, I ain't gonna even try the next one. You want to try to Tecumseh? You see that shit?
It's Tenochtitlan and Tlahteclo or Tlatlo.
Let me tell you. Yeah, I'm gonna have you do linguistic classes for all this shit because I mess them all up. The Aztec capital begins to rise. 1393, Castilian exploration of the Canaries. 1410s, the first caravels built in the Iberian Peninsula. 1415. Portuguese capture of Ceuta in North America. 1420s. Portuguese settle Madeira. Slide up a little bit, guy. 1420s. Formation of the Triple Alliance, the basis of Aztec expansion. 1427. Start of the Inca imperial expansion. 1444. Portuguese Cape Verde, western point of Africa. 1460s. Substantial settlement of the Azores by Portugal. Pay attention to that term of Azores. It's going to come back up. 1469. The marriage of Isabella of Castile and Ferdinand of Aragon. 1479. Treaty of Alcavoris, Castile's right to the Canaries, and Portugal's to Azores. So they're letting you know that Spain, because Castile, that becomes Spain, just to let y'all know. And in this treaty, Alcavoris, it was Castile until this kind of like before this time frame, Spain becomes like the name for it, but Castile, Spain, think of that. And then it says, obviously, the rights of the Canaries. So Spain has the Canaries, the Canary Islands, and Portugal has Azores. This is in 1479. Cape Verde and Madeira mutually accepted. So they got all that. The Canaries are islands, though. So Spain got islands, too. You feel me, guys? It's more than just one little place. You feel me? Canaries. But either way, birth of Bartholomew de la Casa in Seville. Dedication to the great temple in Teotihuacan. Bartholomew Diaz rounds South Africa for Portugal. Spanish conquest of Granada. Columbus' first voyage to America. I want to stop there. You see how that work? See that line up? I'm gonna lead the joints right there. You see how that walk down into everything we talking about from there. And when, this don't even go that far back, but when they just couldn't that time frame of Portuguese, Latin, I'm gonna say Portuguese. They mentioned a lot before even Spain. Really, did I mention Spain on here yet? Do you see me mention the word Spain besides you saying what was that?
They not a force yet.
Yeah.
They're not a force. It's Portugal, like you said. You said 1420. They what did they discover? Madeira Islands. Who discovered it? The Zarco
Portugal.
Family. Yeah, Portugal. The Zarco family, which is who? This dude's pops. So they're the ones discovering it. His wife is born here. Columbus' wife is born here. His mother Isabella marries Zarco. Well, doesn't even marry him. They have a kid, which is Columbus. But Zarco is what? He's the Dom of that time. They gave him the Don of Portugal. And they have that midway point. They've been had the Azores, like you said. And now they have that midway point of Madeira and Porto Santo, those two places. And they dealing with what? His wife is from the Order of Santiago. The Zarcos are Jews. We all hear about Christopher Columbus being part Jew. So it tells you who knew the roots over here from ancient times and always had been so-called the first to do that. The first to get to this one, Portugal. The first to get there. The first on this side, Portugal. That's because Portugal had those ancient ties.
I'm glad we on this like this. What do you think about that, Tecumseh? I want to show that for a reason. I want to even show because we're gonna walk into the next one. I'm gonna use the other part for that.
I think everything right on point. I notice how you ain't press into the part and they say it blatantly. 1415, the Portuguese captured Centua in North America, but according
I said it.
Yeah. I mean, I said you ran past it. You ran past it.
It was too quick for them, right? Centua in North
America. Too fast. I put a pause. Right? Pause.
Yeah,
1415, Portuguese capture Sueta, and it says North America, not Africa, America. So Portuguese is in America, speaking Aramaic, and with their, you know what I'm saying? The Jews, if you know about Portugal.
And real quick, and I'll let you cook on it. I thought the 1487, the dedication of the Great Temple in Tenochtitlan was dope.
Come on.
Because people don't really know what that dedication was. That was the dedication to Huitzilopochtli. And basically, like, to make the story short, when you look at the Aztecs' belief of their story, they believe they came from a place called Aztlan, and a priest named Meshi, which sounds a lot like Moses, basically led them into Tenochtitlan. But the god that told them to do it, his name was Huitzilopochtli. And Huitzilopochtli is a god of war. It literally aligns with the Hebraic story. So it's just funny how we know all these Hebrews are coming into that area simultaneously while they're making a dedication to the temple again for Huitzilopochtli, which is the god of war, which the Bible also says in Exodus that Yahweh is a god of war.
I mean, yeah, you know, Martu. So I didn't want to do that today. You feel me? Martu. He's a god of war too. You know what I mean? People run for the mountains when they hear his name. Lightning and thunder is coming. Might be a flood. You never know. I'm just saying though. But at the end of the day, Amora. Yeah, these things are tied to this. Yeah, we're gonna wait until part 3 for that. Cause I got something for that though. And the fountain of Santo Domingo. No, I'm saying it's the foundation of Santo Domingo. Excuse me. See the names though. Vasco da Gama. A couple little things you see there tied to Amerigo Vespucci comes up. It says Portuguese exploration of Brazilian coast. You see, it's kind of funny now. They say East Coast, South America, surveyed by Amerigo Vespucci Portuguese exploration. It didn't say Spanish. It's funny enough it says that here. But I want to make sure you see Portuguese been in the game longer than you think. Rome grants to Spanish monarchy. That's the first time, matter of fact, in 1538, which is the time of Inquisition after 1510, the requiremento, that they're now in the Americas using the term like St. James, but not the James the Just, but the one tied to the Boanerges, the sons of thunder, like the war god, coming to the West. In their Inquisition, Santiago Matamoros, and over here they're using the term Santiago Metaindios, which is right after this time frame where Rome grants to the Spanish monarchy patronage and other controls over the Church of America. Woo! Look at that. Like, this is your domicile now. Portugal, y'all here because you got a treaty going back right there, right? It says 1494, Treaty of Tordesillas, Castile, and see, in 1484, it don't say Spain yet still. Castile and Portugal, partition, exploration, and exploration of the world. Portugal, east, and they show you the degrees, west, and Castile, west of the meridian. It don't say Spain yet. It don't come down till 1500s when Rome is involved and say, hey, Spanish monarchy. Spanish monarchy is tied to that Castilian situation. I want to make sure you get that real quick. I want to make sure you got that. I don't want to miss you to miss that. Don't miss no drop. You feel me? We can slide though. I want to go ahead and play this clip. You feel me, God? I want to make sure they got that though, because we can go further, but this right here all ties into things. When you watch the series, it's gonna go together. Hopefully you're paying attention and the sources are there for you to go research if you're interested in you walking with us on this campaign of information for this night and series we're doing. Or Amorgarickakans, you dig? You feel me? Tecumseh, man, I'm about to play this clip. You know, we gonna go until show me this source real quick though, because it's been a lot of theories, they say. And it's Halloween coming up. It's the month of that time, Halloween. So in this month, by the way, October, technically in my mind, mathematically, is the 8th month, but I understand what it is, so I'm just gonna go what it is, right? October. Anyways, in the Brill, it says the rise and the fall of a Jewish Indian theory. So from Brill's source, it has here, this person wrote a whole joint on it, and it's going to bring up certain people that you might have read about and people debate about and dispute about and crazy about in certain platforms about is the Indians Jews or Jews Indians, Negro Indians, Negroes, etc. Which, funny enough, the word Negro Obama threw out recently. Because it's tied to all this, things that people are tied up into. I guess it's just easy to say, let them all be African. You know what I'm saying? If we say Negro, it's tied to too much stuff. Negro de Terra, Negro de Guinea, where the Portuguese happen to be. But either way, which means they were, Aramaic and Ladino speaking people, right? Like them Luso Africans with a trade system that outdates 1492 when Jews got expelled, with Columbus coming to Hispaniola by the Portuguese. However, I wanted to just show that link and then see right here. I'm going to it says 1650s, and I'm going to play this clip, and I want y'all to check this out. It says, this paper will deal with the crisis about interpreting. See, we use the word interpreting. Amorgarickakans. Amora means to interpret. The American Indians around 1650, with Manasseh resolution of this crisis with the impact. His resolution had the millenarian thinking and politics in the second half of the 17th century, with the revival of Manasseh's theory in the colonial America, with the struggle over the Jewish Indian theory in early United States history until it was rejected by President Jefferson, with the lingering aspects of the view and other 19th century theories. And finally, with its demise, with the rise of racist anthropology and American nationalism. Whenever I tell students in America that there were a serious theory years ago that the Indians were Jews, Yahudi, and that some of the lost tribes were located in America, they look blankly at me as if it's my nonsense or they laugh embarrassedly to be in the room where such a thing are said. However, I quickly tried to claim that their fears, false evidence appearing real, by pointing out that after Columbus met the Indians in 1482, there was a problem accounting for who they were and where they came from. If everyone on the surface of Earth was a descendant of Adam and Eve and the 7 survivors of the flood, then the Indians had to be connected to the biblical world. Columbus himself had no problem. He thought there were Asians since he was sure that he had reached Cathay. Amerigo Vespucci, can you move a little bit? Was a bit more baffled. You hear me, God? Slide up a little bit more. Only this last piece, we're going to go into this clip. Columbus himself had no problem. He thought they were Asians since he was sure that he had reached Cathay. It's just Amerigo Vespucci was a bit more baffled. He knew that the Indians were not stoic or Epicureans. That's a real word right there, right? Some big words here. Epicureans. But was not sure how they might be. The Pope declared the Indians to be fully human. I'm gonna pause on that because most of these indigenous people today don't know they're goddamn they indigenous and they humans too, right? Being that the status they might be in. They're humans though. So he put them underneath their, he still clarified them to be underneath their jurisdiction, right? As humans that we can clarify to be underneath, created by one man, right? Of the human race. That the Indians were separate from the understanding of everybody in the world being of the human race, of humanity in this understanding. You know what I mean? When we interpret these things or more. You feel me?
Ain't in Black's Law the definition of human something like beast? Something like that?
Yeah, creator, creation, creature. That's the word I would say, creature. A creature made by the creator. You know what I mean? In some significance of the human race understanding of things. Yeah. Now, how we develop the names and use the regions, kingdoms, clans, tribes, and all the different terms we can use, kingdoms, etc. On a plane of action. Now, how you might interpret it, or moral. To get to the Akan people. We're going to have to get to some understanding, you know, because we the beloved ones trying to get this information to you today. Shout out to my Lucian Macaria, you heard? We're going to play this clip, though, Brown University. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go a little bit over. I had to get this to y'all. Feel me? I planned for this. So we're going to give you this. Check it out. It's a little quick little clip. We're going to end with Brown University. Shout out to my Browns out there. You already know what it is. You heard? All my indigenous people, my Aboriginal people. But you don't like to be called Aboriginal. Shout out all my American Maroons. That's Lucian Macaria. Yeah, Seminole. Free people. We ain't gonna say color, we just say Esther Lucy. But we know free people of color, I ain't gonna front. It is good. It might be on paperwork, so I can't front, right? We'll get to this clip though. It's called The Paradox of the Jewish Indians, since I just read that last clip. Religion and Race on a Colonial Campus by Craig Stephen Wilder. Black man.
Of Judaism. Dutch colonists in New Netherlands sought to keep New Netherlands from being, quote, further invaded by people of the Jewish race. Before 1650, a wave of Jews fleeing persecution in the Iberian Peninsula found refuge in the United Provinces of the Netherlands. The growth of Sephardic communities in commercial cities like Amsterdam assisted the rise of Dutch merchant trade in Europe, East India, and the Americas. New migrations of Dutch, Spanish, and Portuguese Jews to Brazil, the Caribbean, and New Netherlands followed. During the ephemeral English Republic, Oliver Cromwell ended the 4-century-long banishment of the Jews by courting Dutch and Iberian Jewish merchants, who brought much-needed expertise in Atlantic shipping, which in fact the English particularly needed to get around Spanish prohibitions. Rabbi Ben Israel dedicated his Hope of Israel to Parliament, in part making the argument that if Indians, Native Americans, were Jews, then England was already engaged with a vast, sizable Jewish region of the globe. In 1655, Ben Israel personally petitioned Cromwell for the readmission of the Jews and under Cromwell's authority, Jews entered England before the prohibition was officially lifted in 1662. In the mid-Atlantic and New England, Jews faced a vibrant anti-Semitism. In September 1654, a group of 23 Jews from Recife, New Holland, Brazil, victims of the Portuguese conquest, arrived in New Amsterdam aboard the St. Katrina. Captain Jacques de la Motte sold their possessions at auction to pay for their passage, and then secured a court order to hold 2 of the men for the remaining debt. Dominique Megapolensis dispatched a letter to Amsterdam complaining about the immigration of Dutch Jews from Brazil. Governor Peter Stuyvesant also protested against allowing Jews to, quote, infest his colony. Johannes Theodorus Polemus, later the Dutch minister out in Brooklyn in the Flatbush settlement, arrived on a second ship that carried another group of Jewish settlers. Dominic Polemus had earlier opposed the immigration of Jews to New Holland, and now in fact began the opposition, or added to the opposition, of the immigration of Jews into New Netherland. Aggravating Megapolensis' frustrations were that Jews coming to New Amsterdam were poor and needed charity, and he protested that the tiny community of Jews already in the city had given little to their support. Certainly, these Jewish settlers would attempt to establish a synagogue, he warned. The Dutch West India Company and the classis of Amsterdam rejected the New Netherlanders' call for exclusion, but inclusion also had clear limits. The Sephardim could practice their faith only in the privacy of their own homes and could not open retail stores. Decorum also required that they build their houses in one section of the city and close together. And that's a quote, close together. The social position of European Jews was in fact increasingly ambiguous. The colonial Jewish population grew slowly but steadily as a network of Sephardic communities helped to link New York to Europe, to Africa, to South America, to the Caribbean. Quote, "It is possible to learn Hebrew here as well as in Europe," the Reverend John Sharp proudly wrote of New York City in the summer of 1713. Quote, "There being a synagogue of Jews and many ingenious men of that nation." Reverend Sharp was a former Indian missionary who had lived with the Mohawk near Schenectady and preached in Mohawk country. Christian intellectuals discovered the utility of these loosely configured communities of Sephardim. Hebrew, in fact, remained prominent, a prominent part of the 18th century curriculum, but its purpose changed dramatically in the century from its sort of real rise within the curriculum. It increasingly served as a lens into the origins of Christianity, rather than for an instrument into discovering the origins of Native Americans and any religious obligations toward them. The Reverend Samuel Johnson, the founding president of King's College, now Columbia University, compiled and published his own Hebrew grammar book. He critiqued others in circulation, but Johnson was also particularly cold to the idea of accepting Native American students on the King's College campus. In fact, one of the few times he even suggests it or writes about it, he quickly decides that it's not worth it because what he mostly wants is actually money, not really Indian students. In 1764, the wealthy Boston merchant Thomas Hancock, the uncle of John Hancock, established a Hebrew professorship at Harvard. At the College of New Jersey, now Princeton, President John Witherspoon offered private instruction in Hebrew to his most gifted scholars. James Madison, who had begun studying classical languages while a boy in Virginia, remained in Princeton after his 1771 graduation, in fact, to improve his Hebrew under Reverend Witherspoon's guidance. The second college in the colonial South, the short-lived Queens College in North Carolina, required competency in Hebrew for admission. For a decade before he assumed the presidency of Yale College, the Reverend Ezra Stiles improved his command of ancient languages and religious philosophy by building closer relationships to the Jewish community in Newport, Rhode Island. That's never easy to pull off, that water thing. So, where the extension of religious freedom in Newport and full civil rights to all free people in 1652 had allowed Jewish settlement. Stiles celebrated the dedication of the synagogue in Newport, often attended services there, became a student of Judaica, mingled with prominent Jewish businessmen and philanthropists like Aaron Lopez and Jacob Rodriguez de Rivera, and sought instruction from learned Jews, including the Dutch rabbi Isaac Tura. He learned Hebrew, earned the friendship of a half dozen rabbis, and forged close relationships with Jews in New York, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. Quote, finishing a Hebrew letter to the Rabbi Karagal, the minister hurriedly wrote in July 1773, troubled that he had not had time for revisions before the Middle Eastern visitor departed for Barbados. Karagal had served Jewish communities in Curacao for 2 years and in Jamaica for a year. Reverend Stiles gave an address in Hebrew at his Yale inauguration. He added Hebrew to the college seal, and he secured a portrait of Rabbi Karagal for the campus. If the dominion of Christians over Jews suggested a spiritual hierarchy, then the tyranny of Europeans over Africans and Native Americans could indicate a natural order. A century of ideas linking human complexion to the social fates of particular peoples eased the debate about the fate and place of Native Americans and Africans in Christian prophecy.
Here we go.
The status
Stop right
of
there.
Jews was also in flux.
I don't need no more for tonight. We don't need no more for that right there. The confusion comes in with this language that these schools is using. Yale, Brown, Harvard, Princeton. And funny enough, the black codes tied to people that can interpret the language we would call Aramaic, or they would like to say Hebrew, that we know we're here from ancient 800, 700 AD amongst indigenous people, and this Jewish Indian paradox that people talk about. Amorgarickakans, I think, will give a clearer picture of why the confusion's in place. And then the idea that, the schools that he just mentioned, this is being done at Brown University. And if you want to listen to the whole thing, you can obviously can go to the YouTube channel, just type in Jewish Indian Paradox, or, on Clubhouse. We played the whole clip and let people have a discussion about it. If you go to our Clubhouse joint, the Autonomous Party, and go back through I literally labeled this. I put the remix. We played some music before it and all. Oh my God, I got to play. It's like I'm at the lecture, but my style. But however the case, sort of campaign style, I should say. In a manner of how this whole thing is playing out, the Jewish Indian, Amorgarickakans. Don't let semantics get you confused with history and religion or dogma, misinterpretations of what historically is taking place of dark-skinned people tied to these terms. Don't let the certain complexions confuse you. Because they're literally before 1685 in our land. We're going to play the black codes one more time so you won't be confused. Brought up King Louis in the 14th and all that earlier. These people that they kicked out of their colonies, French colonies, at that time, in the Americas, who could be labeled a Jew, always these black codes, the Negro is in there too in Article 2, right? So now, these folk that's up in their 13 colony territory, they're free people of color, as he mentioned. They schools, the Indians going to them before they became esteemed Ivy League schools is dealing with a prerequisite for you to learn Hebrew, Greek, and Latin tied to being at the top of scholarship of this country. But there's a black code coming in a little bit later. It might make some people migrate from a territory to another. What y'all think about that before we play this clip and we're going to get out of here tonight? You have to check us out for part 3. 9, Tecumseh, I appreciate y'all for vibing with us tonight. Is there anything I want to say before we slide?
Nah, I ain't really got nothing to say. I think everything that lines out what we basically trying to get across was said in the last 2 episodes. We definitely got more to bring out. Well, at least I got more to bring out on this proof for sure, but I ain't really got nothing else to say on it. I feel like it should all make sense by now.
Well, this part 3 gonna come. We're gonna go into some ancient people biblically and different things, speaking Aramaic and different things like that. And I got Lee Cummins coming on the 12th. Shout out to Lee Cummins. You know what I'm saying? On November. Now, what you thinking about this before we get out of here?
He said some great dates. The brother from Brown University. He hit hard in the 1650s. New Amsterdam, New Holland, which we know was up that way at the same area that we dealing with that Amorgarickakans and Kilcop and his people and whatever was going on. You have an influx of what he's saying, so it's definitely all in line with the information. And lastly, just the derivatives of that Amor and that Amorikkan and that Amorika and that Amorgarikkan and Mamericus, that whole flow and the whole Portugal's thing. Once people look towards Portugal, and you don't got to look long because they came about in the 900s. Then you follow the trail past then. But if you look at Portugal from 900 to 14, 15, 1500s, you'll definitely be able to see who came, what ancient waterways were they using, and how they stood under the church, how they would go under whatever church to still have their own autonomous situation. Those people that had this ancient root, they just lost, that to the whole world. Everybody got the root now.
Mm-hmm. With that being said, man, we're gonna play this, like a commercial. Till part 3, y'all. We're gonna talk. I know I'm gonna see y'all during the week. Shout out to everybody that pulled up on us tonight. You know what I'm saying? And watch this live. We're gonna play this Black Code joint since we just got through talking about that in context, so you can get it in your head. You can always go to the YouTube channel, our network, the Autonomous Party Network. Shout out again to Tecumseh, Open Me Monte 90, and all the party that's involved with all the research in the background you might not see that helps us produce these things that we're bringing to you, from the live show to all the things that we got on our channel, and obviously the website. More merch to come, by the way. You know what I mean? Aboriginal Wall Street. We're going to Aboriginal Wall Street. We got a special guest that's pulling up on us, so we can do an exclusive November 5th. Everything supposed to be locked in, so I'm gonna say it like that. I ain't gonna put the name out there, but it's coming. You know what I'm saying? Yacht Seminole, Esteluski, what's up? We coming, and we probably might push back the Aboriginal Wall Street joint to Thanksgiving, because I got some shit I want to bring to y'all, hoping I can land on that Sunday. We might do Aboriginal Wall Street back to back. You know what I'm talking about? Because I got to learn how it's lining this time. But in this situation, definitely tap in with us. Don't forget, because it is the 22nd. Next week, right? The 22nd, right? Next week, Bohemian Grove. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's Halloween coming up, right? Sunday before Halloween. BSB, what up? Samdi to y'all. Oh, yeah, Bohemian Grove. Play the clip, though. And Blaze, we'll play some Black Code
Black
for you.
codes, also known as the Black Laws, were originally inspired by King Louis XIV's Code Noir, an edict issued against Black Jews in French colonies that went alongside with the Edict of Fontainebleau. The edict made official the policy of persecution that was already in force since the Dragon Age. For those who don't know, the Black Codes of 1865 restricted Black people's right to own property, conduct business, buy and lease land, and move freely through public spaces. These codes allowed free people of color to access the legal system, marry, own property, and contract employment. In the courts, however, marriage between different races was punishable for both whites and blacks by life imprisonment. Limits were also placed on former slaves' ability to own property outside of the cities, and therefore to move from the cities and engage in their own farming or land ownership became infinitely more difficult. For more interesting facts like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Did you know that the
For
foundation
more
of the Black Codes, also known as
foundation of the Black Codes, and all the other information we bring to you, we please like for you to like, share, and subscribe. Obviously, a lot of these sources and stuff that we show you, if you want to read more into it, you can subscribe to our thomasparty.com. You see at the bottom, and our Patreon setup. We have it set up. You can subscribe, $10 a month and support our campaign. The harsh reality is live life autonomously. You can get access to a lot of these joints we're going to have and have had in our vault, in our library, and certain things, you know what I mean? And shout out to everybody that's tapped into us. Blaze, Black Codes. Till next time, Tecumseh, I appreciate y'all. As I say, inner peace, Psalmody to you. And everybody out there in the chat and in the world that's listening. Till next time, Maranatha.
Maranatha.
Super Blaze.
Yeah, rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? Eat $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah. God's children, give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God and Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Tribal families turn on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to something. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coat. We can never die, bitch. We bulletproof. You don't shut up. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled, how I ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hot and black was never on your side. They too mad to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man zone. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Hey man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up.
Placement on the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled, how I ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hot and black was never on your side. They too mad to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man zone. And I ain't talking shit, this my definition. If being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. We the God to the gate. So when they say they fear God, now you know what they made. Shoot some, move some, shoot some, move some.
Put us in the same room, it gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
Shoot some, move some, shoot some, move some.
Put us in the same room, it gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
Every day my niggas dying, they don't know the truth. How the hell you close to God, we don't know it's you. Yo, how the hell you supposed to survive, we don't know the shoot. He should've died, you let him slide, cause he look just like you. I tried to tell him all skin ain't kin. Everybody ain't your partner, everybody ain't your friend. How the hell they supposed to help when they the ones that put you in? They don't struggle how we struggle, they can't get it how we live. Can't be scared to die when we already dead. Either way, your life is stake no matter how you play it. My higher self said we should choose remain godly. My lower want these motherfucking bodies. Infiltrate they circles like a motherfucking Audi. Take them to the south and put them down like OG Bobby. They don't want equality in this club, they want these problems. Killers right beside me, slab full of chicken moppers. shoot some, move some, shoot some, move some.
Put us in the same room, he gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
Shoot some, move some, shoot some, move some.
Put us in the same room, he gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.